Okay, these are the prefixes for the factor label method. So they do get a note card. Ooh, I did not mean to do that. Um, they do get a note card on the test, so they can have the prefix and the meaning of the prefix and all of that to help them. So very quickly, um, mega means millions. So, and by the way, these are prefixes. That's what the dash is. These do not stand alone. So you can't have just a mega. You have to have, God, this is being funny. Oh, you have to have a megagram or a megaliter or a megameter. Kilo means 1,000. So if you have a kilogram, it means 1,000 grams. If you have a kilometer, it means 1,000 meters. Milli means thousandth. So if you have a millimeter, it actually means 1,000th of a meter. If you have a milliliter, it means 1,000th of a liter. And so here are the prefixes: mega, kilo, um, deci, centum, milli, micro, nano, pico. Kids have a lot of trouble with this one right here because capital M is mega and little m is milli. And so we had to go to the Greek alphabet and get this weird looking M called the mu. And it comes up a couple times on the worksheet, the first time at like number 5. These are the time conversions. They can have them on their card. Babylonians had a base 60 number system, and then 1 hour is 3,600 seconds. So 6 times 6 is 36. So 60 times 60 is 3,600. These are the hardest ones. These are the level 4. The beauty of the metric system is it's very easy to convert between liquid volume units and solid volume units. In our system, going from like cubic feet to gallons is not easy, but 1 milliliter is a cubic centimeter and 1 liter is a cubic decimeter. And these actually come up in level 4, but I am going to do that, and I'm going to break this down into levels. Okay, so this is the first worksheet. Let's just do worksheet number 1 on the thing. Just slow and deliberate. Just take them easy so that if you can help them do this whole worksheet, you should be able to nail that test. Okay, so this is level 1, 0.032 decigrams. And we want to convert this to nanograms. That's the problem. I'm going to grab a different color. If you go to the sheet, deci means 10 to the negative 1. Nano means 10 to the negative 9. When I'm teaching this, I tell the kids on a number line, if you were going from negative 9 to negative 1, how far would this distance be? And the answer is 8. And so one of these is 10 to the 8th times bigger than the other. Just the real number system. If you're going from the tenths place on like a decimal point to the billionths place, you're going to go over 8 places. And then I have them remember this like we're number 1, meaning um, the thing that's bigger goes with the 1. And so a decigram, because negative 1, 10 to the negative 1, is a bigger number than 10 to the negative 9. Um, there so it's really important that you get the number, but also that you don't flip these. And so I tell the kids the bigger number goes with the 1, and the small, because it takes a lot of little things, because nanograms are little, to make one big thing. Okay, so now we got our conversion factor, and then I tell them the rule is what goes in the first set of parentheses, the original problem. And then if there isn't a denominator, you can change anything into a fraction by putting it over 1. And then here's our conversion factor. Whatever on the top in the original problem goes in the bottom, because units act like variables. Only things in the top and the bottom cancel. And so, oops, sorry, this is an n. This is a, and then this cancels with this. And then what would happen is what you would type into your calculator is 0.032 times 10 caret 8 divided by 1 times 1. Always put the downstairs stuff in the parentheses. And obviously, we don't need to put the ones in. This was just in the beginning. And so if you do this on a calculator, you will get 3.2 times 10 to the 6th. And to be quite truthful, not very many kids get that because um, one of the things we worked on in the unit before this is recognizing equivalent representation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Most of my students' calculators say this because grabbing a different color. These are the same number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All calculators roll over to scientific notation at a different place, and so they have to be able to recognize equivalent numbers. Okay, so black to black, let's do 2. This is a time 1.0143 hours, 2 seconds. And so what you do is you go back to, if you go back to the first page, which is back 2, the equation that relates hours and seconds is right here. 1 hour is 3,600 seconds. So underneath it, we write 1 hour is 3,600 seconds, because I told them the first thing to do is to look at the 2 units and find an equality that relates them. And then what goes in the first set of parentheses? Always the original problem. If it's not a fraction, make it a fraction. And then because hours is on the top, 1 hour goes down, 3,600 seconds goes up. This cancels this. If you put in a calculator, 0.143 times 3,600 divided by 1 times 1. The calculator actually says 514.8 seconds. But because of sig figs, now sig figs are, this number is only good to 3 sig figs. And this is a definition. It's not a measured number, so sig figs don't apply. If the original problem has 3 sig figs, your answer can only have 3 sig figs. And so you have to round this to 3 sig figs. So 515 seconds. And that's kind of tricky because I don't know how Jack's okay on sig figs, but he missed a couple. 3 gave the kids a lot of problems because 0.84 meters to picometers. A lot of kids thought that this meant milli. So here's the thing. If you only have one letter, there's no prefix, that means meter. Millimeter has to have 2 M's, one for the M and one for the milli. So this is the first one. If there is a single letter here, that means you are on the 10 to the 0 step. And then this is 10 to the negative 12. And so the first question is, on a number line, how far is it from 0 to negative 12? 12. The 1 goes with the bigger number. 0 is a bigger number than negative 12, or 10 to the 0 is bigger than 10 to the negative 12. So 1 meter is 10 to the 12th picometers. And then the original problem goes in the parentheses. And then meter is on the top, so meter goes on the bottom, and 10 to the 12th picometers goes up, and I put 0.84 times 10 caret 12 divided by 1, and you will get, when you put that in the calculator, and practice that. Because on test day, the answers aren't going to be on the worksheet, and you got to make sure that you know how to arrive at the answer with your calculator and not just take them off my sheet where I give you the answers for feedback so you can see if you do it right. Okay, 4 is 718 nanometers. We would like to convert this to centimeters. And so, okay, two letters, so both of these have prefixes. Nano means 10 to the negative 9th, or a billion, and centa means 10 to the negative 2, or a hundredth. How far is it on a number line from negative 9 to negative 2? It is 7 places, so one of these is 10 to the 7th, 7 powers of 10, bigger than the other. What's a bigger number, negative 2 or negative 9? Negative 2, and so the centimeters goes with the 1, and the nanometers goes with the 10 to the 7th. Again, the original problem goes into parentheses. Nanometers is on the top, so 10 to the 7th nanometers goes down. 1 centimeter goes up. What's interesting is when you multiply fractions, go across the top. So 718 times 1, that's the top, divided by 1 times 10 to the 7th. Again, you can drop the ones, but if you put that in the calculator, you will get 7.18 times 10 to the negative fifth. And the only unit that hasn't canceled is centimeters. And then the last level 1 problem is 65.22 megagrams to micrograms. Um, and so I'm going to grab this, but if you look on the first slide, mega is 10 to the positive 6. Micro is 10 to the negative 6. How far is it on a number line from negative 6 to positive 6 with 0 in the middle? It's actually 12. And so one of these is 12 powers of 10 bigger than the other. Negative positive 6 is 10 to the positive 6 is bigger than 10 to the negative 6. So 1 megagram is equal to a trillion micrograms. Again, now that we have the conversion factor, the original problem goes in the first set of parentheses. If it doesn't have it at top and the bottom, we put it over 1. Megagram is on the top, so 1 megagram goes down to cancel. 10 to the 12th micrograms goes up. On a calculator, 65.22 times 10 caret 12 divided by 1 would be 6.522. Again, when you're doing tens, the sig figs work out. This has 4, this has 4. Times 10 to the positive 13 micrograms. Okay, that's it for level 1. I'm going to stop this, otherwise these recordings get so long. And then we'll upload this and I'll do the level